I'm Karen Collins, and I'm here today with Navindra Serum. He's got years of research in the area of inflammation and botanical compounds that influence that. That's compounds from plants, like some of the plant foods that you know you should be eating more of. But there's a lot more to the science than that. And we've really moved from the study of isolated nutrients, thinking we could solve it all by particular nutrients or particular compounds, to really seeing that it's how they work together synergistically that's an exciting piece of this progress you see yourself in the midst of, right?
Correct, because you have to have a clear, difference between drugs and foods. And drugs are typically one compound which is delivered in a druggable form. In this case, you're looking at foods, and what we find is that you cannot take a reductionist approach to finding out, is there one active compound in a berry that I could then isolate and purify and deliver in a capsule? It does not work like that, because within the whole food, in a berry, for example, you're having multiple constituents, which would include macronutrients and micronutrients, such as fiber, vitamins, minerals, good fat, good sugars, and then here you go, you have all these phytonutrients on top of whatever you have there. So when you do the math, 1 + 1 = 3, right? So you have a complementary additive synergy. That's where the sum of the whole is greater than its parts.
And that's pretty exciting.
It's very exciting. It makes it more complicated to study, but it's more exciting.
Yes, yes. And so nice to know that there's basic choices. The research is complicated, but the message is actually not that complicated.
The message is very simple.
Yeah.
The message is very simple.
Here today with Professor Ellen Crozier from the School of Medicine at the University of Glasgow in the UK. He's a world-renowned expert in the study of compounds in plant foods that you might have heard about called flavonoids. You may think of them as antioxidants, but that's part of what he's going to talk to us about today. For people who want to follow this research, we really, as educated consumers of information, do need to ask when we see a study saying such and such a food saves your brain or protects you from cancer or whatever. You really do need to look at the study and see how they did that or what's it based on.
You do, but the FDA, if it's related to food, have very strict regulations of what you can say and what you can't say. The real problem comes from supplements, which are unregulated as far as I'm aware, and make all sorts of ridiculous claims about what their various products would do. If you look at some of these shops, there's all sorts of things claiming it'll affect your brain, you'll work better, it'll affect your digestion and various other things. You're unlikely to get prostate cancer or you'll recover from it. Most of this is nonsense. And my advice would be, don't waste your money on supplements unless your doctor has good reason for advising you to do so, and stick to a healthy diet of fruit and vegetables.
So the bottom line is those foods that people have been looking up as or hearing about as high in antioxidants, they're still good.
Stick with them.
So what really excites you now in the latest realm of research? What is the stuff that is really...
Yeah, what gets me really excited is that, we know instinctively, and, Mom and Grandma has told us, eat more fruit and vegetables. I think, so that's common sense. But what's exciting for me now is that the science has moved so rapidly that we're at a point now, at least in the USA and in other developed countries, where we have some really fantastic instruments. We have good models of cell models and animal models, and even human clinical studies where, it takes a village to attack this problem, and there's a combination of basic scientists, of clinicians, of registered dietitians, of folks such as you, Karen, who are really getting the message out that we're doing, in our peer-reviewed papers that we're publishing, which will probably never ever reach the public, but it is through blogs such as yours, Karen. So that's what's exciting, because it's a public health problem, and we need, you included, listeners, we all need to play our part. We need to step up, and I think that's what's exciting. It's like, we have to come together, we have to work together to change.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for having me in your blog.
All right, one last question. For all the frustration that you feel, What's one of the things that excites you the most about where the research is going or what we've learned?
I think one of the things that excites me about this field is, firstly, you're doing something which is of benefit to people's health. And unusually for a research area, the general public have a grasp of what's going on, where much research is just way in view of not just me, them, all of us. It's highly technical, but a lot of this work can be translated into simple terms, so it means something to the general public, as if they don't take on board the message, a lot of it will be not as effective as it should be.
Mm-hmm. For all the work that's going on, there's great work, but now for it to matter, people have to act on it.
Yes. Yeah.
But you feel like it is actionable evidence, which is, that is optimistic. So great. Thank you so much for this time today. I appreciate it very much. Please come back and join us at Smart Bites for another interview and more good information coming down the line.